This team is legitimately fire right now. It is amazing to watch these guys sometimes. And welcome back to another episode of Outcasts 2 Icons with me, the most excited I've been in a very long time about a season in FM. As of course, if you have been enjoying the series, drop a like on the video. That would be fantastic. Helps the channel find new people so they can experience the massiveness that is Marco Quattro, or I guess Mark 4, which makes you wonder what happened to Marks 1 through 3. I'm guessing he's just the latest iteration. Maybe we'll get an update by the end of the season and we'll get the latest iteration of Marco Quattro. I don't actually know what that is in Italian because I'm a Luddite, but I'd like to know. In addition to that, Francisco Conceição has also joined up with the indie band that formed last season. It was inevitable, really, with that haircut, that he would find a way in there. He's not exactly the most gifted musician, but my God, that man can play the triangle. And he plays some nice triangles on the pitch too, which is kind of good. You get the best of both worlds. Miley Cyrus will not be joining the band. Neither will Hannah Montana, because they're definitely different people. The Sassy Solos hope to have their first EP out by the end of the season. No idea what it'll be called, but I guess we'll find out later in the series. Something people wanted to see as well, and I'm kind of curious about this too, but I deliberately didn't look because I want to find out with you, is the season preview, which is hilarious because they update it throughout the season. Sort of defeating the point of a preview, but sure. Let's go. So, season preview currently has... Well, okay then. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect that. Okay, so we are predicted 11th. Hang on, is that the media prediction or the season preview prediction? Yep, they're predicting us to come lower than last year. Okay, that I honestly did not expect that. I thought last year we were predicted 10th and we actually ended up coming 13th immediately. But with the signings we've made, and I think we've strengthened the squad considerably. I thought we'd be predicted like 9th or 8th, maybe potentially even. But there you go. Crotone, who we beat in the last game, were actually predicted 12th, despite coming 6th last year. So what I'm saying is, let's ignore this. Napoli are the defending champions and they're 8-1. They're not even expected to get into the Champions League this year. Ah dear, Italian media never change. Also, on the slight downside, we are actually technically failing FFP as things go. Only just. So, were we to be on the verge of potentially getting into Europe at the end of this season, which is a long shot, I agree, although a lot of you seem to think we can, I'm still looking at top half. But if we were to exceed that, then that's brilliant, really. That's ahead of schedule in my mind. If we were to be looking, say, in January, like we were potentially on the verge of perhaps being in European contention, I would potentially just move someone on in January just to satisfy that, because we are literally just like a million here and a million there. And even on the projections, which are notoriously awful, they're actually looking okay. So it's not too bad, but we just need to keep an eye on it, just in case we were to sneak into Europe or something, because the last thing we needed is a ban. Today, oh dear. Oh yes, we host Cagliari. Second game of today is going to be Inter. We're really going to try and focus on those games. I know I'm wearing a Roma shirt, I realise this, but don't worry, I won't wear it for the episode where we play against Roma. I wouldn't want any mixed emotions coming up, but I just really like this shirt, to be honest. And yes, I have been looking at Sassuolo shirts, and yes, they do personalised shirts, and yes, they're quite expensive. But to be honest, if we were to go all the way with Sassuolo or something, I would be very tempted. Right, they want to make some changes. I want to not do that, because just to make sure that I want to nail down a squad if I can do. So, thoughts after that first game. I think we played well. I think the key players that I wanted did well. However, I feel like Skov Olsen didn't have the best game, but that's fine. Kudus didn't have the best game in that position as well. I want to give him another chance here today, but if we start to see a bit more struggles, and I do wonder if it's just because the left-footed... I don't know, we'll see. We've still got defenders to come back into the team as well when they're fully fit, which is not yet, admittedly, but they're getting there, which would be nice. I'd like to see Uriarte back by the end of the month and Volpes back by sort of 6 weeks from now, which would be nice. But if we can tide ourselves over with Little Roger, which apparently is actually Little Hodger, but I apologise. It's Little Roger. It's Little Roger. It's always going to be Little Roger to me. And of course, Milivojevic, the absolute Serbian monster, who I think I actually underrated as a signing. £6 million for him, I'm pretty pleased with. It's just that Uriarte was just so good. Are you actually serious? Ivica Hodak is on loan at Cagliari from Inter. I tried to loan Ivica Hodak from Inter and they said no. And yet they were happy to loan him to Cagliari. Gah. This is going to be horrible now. Watch him score against us. I actually tried to get him on loan, but I gave up because they said no. I also moved on 35-year-old Ricardo Maquisa for like 1.4 million to Bologna, just to get some more money off the wage bill. He wasn't playing, he wanted to leave. You know the drill. Glavash is probably going to go out on loan, purely because as part of his contract, because I wasn't sure about the registration rules, I put in the loan part of his contract, which means that he'll be upset if I don't loan him out. So he's probably going to go on loan either to Serie B, because he'll be playing more games, or potentially to the Belgian top flight, just to get him some game time, which would be good for a season for him as well. So that's what's going on in the background. It's hard to say where we stand. We've won our cup game and we won brilliantly at Crotone. Now, were we to win again here against Cagliari, I would see that as a very good sign. But again, I don't think the squad is fully bedded in. However, dynamics are looking very, very good. The only thing that's not great just yet is the cohesion, and that just comes from having all these new players. I don't think we'll really see the best out of this team until about 3 or 4 months from now, honestly. Once they start really getting going, we can figure out if there's any more personnel switches in terms of positions that I want to make. Particularly as I wouldn't mind actually doing Milivojev as a ball-playing defender, because he's actually so good there. Watch Ivica Hodak put on an absolute clinic at the back for Cagliari and ruin my dreams today. Moscatelli going long. And Quarto isn't going to win that, unfortunately, but we might still... Oh, Hodak makes an early error there. Oh, God. That's a good ball through. Raspadori's in there. And it's a great save from Moscatelli. This is what I mean. Having a goalkeeper that I can rely on to pull off saves like that is so much more relaxing to play. It just feels like there's a level of stability that we didn't have before. Siggy Jonsson picking this ball up on the right-hand side, having a little drive with it. Is there an option for him? But Ravella comes flying in. He's already on a booking too. But I think in the second half, I might just tweak something to see if we can get a little bit more out of us as Raspadori's through again, but it's a relatively easy save for Moscatelli. So at half-time, the game's actually slightly more even than I thought it was. We had a chance apparently here, which the game didn't feel like it was, even on extended highlights, did not feel the need to show us. So I don't know what that was, but just not outwardly fantastic as an attacking force today. That's what's sort of let us down a bit. Defensively still been okay though, and that's really what I want to build on. If we could get another clean sheet today, I'd be ecstatic with that. Kudus is going to get it back though on his left foot, and it's Quarto with the header over the bar. Come on lads, defending set pieces need to be strong from these. Ravella's ball in. Oh, and a good save from Moscatelli. They missed the header there, and the goalkeeper had to bail us out. Here we go. Pavlish on the ball again. Drops it for Kudus. Now we're playing a bit more football. Popping it around a bit. Emerson's quite far forward, though. We've got runners, though. One of them is Kudus. He's got to square this, maybe. Pull it back, perhaps. Bit of space for Skov Olsen. All the way through, and a good block off of the Conceição shot, but that was better. Just making a couple of little switches to try to... Oh, that's poor. That's really poor. Just to try and mix things up a little bit. Got Marcus Paolo on, moved him back to being an inside forward to just see if we can get a bit of joy. That is a dreadful pass, though, from Milivojev, and that could cost us dearly. Raspadori's through now. It's a tough one, and a good save again from Moscatelli, but Moscatelli lumps it long. But they've allowed Quarto to bring that out the air. Finds Marcus Paolo. Is there a ball beyond? It's Bianco, and it's a great save from the goalkeeper. Out of the area. Oh, he could have cut that out, maybe. Durand. Good block. Oh, Quarto's in there. Marco Quarto's in. Can he finish it? Yes, he can! Marco Quarto, Sassuolo 1, Cagliari 0, his third goal in 3 games. This man has played 3 games for Sassuolo from that role, and he has scored in each and every one of them. This touch here is shocking. From Ivica Hodak, making the mistake, Quarto picks his pocket and slots it past the goalkeeper, and it seems like the occasion has got to Ivica Hodak, as it is 1-0 to Sassuolo. That is big, big, big. There was a better chance there, really, for us, and we should have done better with it. Kudus. Oh, no. Don't you dare. Don't screw this up while trying to score an extra goal when we shouldn't be. Icardi, it's a bit of a tight angle. Just shepherd him. Tight angle. Don't let him pull it back. Good save from Moscatelli, and we've got away with that one. My goodness, I'm getting sweaty in here just watching this. Christ. We're not doing the simple things right now. We're getting a bit flustered, and I don't like to see it. Raspadori's in behind, and it's another incredible save from Moscatelli. He has been a rock in today's game. There's been an onslaught from Cagliari since we went in front, but it doesn't matter. It's Sassuolo 1, Cagliari 0. We were about equal in the end, but although once again, it didn't really show us a couple of these chances late on. But nevertheless, they had a few chances. Moscatelli was superb. 8 saves for Moscatelli in this game. Another clean sheet, a win, and Quarto scores again. Back-to-back wins to start the season. We've got a lot of tough games to come now, but just to get off with 6 points straight away, really encouraging. And 2 clean sheets to go. The defenders did superbly today. Right, back in a sec for Inter. Right then, we're back. It's been a very interesting period of games off camera, that is for sure. This team is legitimately fire right now. It is amazing to watch these guys sometimes. But first up, we were away against Atalanta. Quarto got a knee injury. Sorry, not an injury, a twisted ankle. So he's missed most of the games in this off-camera period. He is back now, but it's a bit annoying because he's played so well. Atalanta got a red card after 28 minutes in this game. And then before half-time, we finally managed to find a breakthrough. Siggy Jonsson getting the ball out on the right, drops it through to Pessina, who'd come in today, to slot one home for 1-0 Sassuolo on the stroke of half-time, away from home. We really very much needed that. And then literally, directly after half-time, within 30 seconds seconds of the second half starting, Skovolson gets the ball here, drops it across, and there was Kudus playing through the centre to make it 2-0 and surely wrap the game up against 10 men. But we had more in the tank. 55 minutes on the clock. Once again, they just went so narrow. We had loads of space. Look at the build-up here. Renato Sanchez then with a flick on for Conceição to make it 3-0. I brought Sanchez on in the second half to test something in the midfield after we'd gone 2 goals to the good. And then on 57 minutes, we managed to find ourselves another bit of good play here. Sanchez dropped it for Conceição, and it was 4-0 to Sassuolo. What a result away from home. 4-0. The red card obviously played a huge factor, but the red card was... we'd still had some good chances even prior to the red card, and it just kind of exacerbated us and allowed us to control the entire game. It was superb. So I brought on Renato Sanchez to play in the Mezzala role because everyone else I'd had there was right-footed, including Pessina. So, sorry, left-footed rather. And I wanted to see what a right-footed player can do, and he set up 2 assists in the second half just with sensible football. So it's certainly interesting that it does seem to favour a right-footed player in that role, but still Kudus does play well there. Next up, we were at home against Sampdoria. We beat them 1-0 last year, and look at this. Edge of the box, Dinko Pavlich, left foot, rocket. 1-0 on the half-an-hour mark, and we were playing brilliantly, just as good as last time. But then in the 75th minute, a nice little ball put into the box, defenders don't deal with it, and Campagna makes it 1-1. A frustrating one, because I actually don't think we played any worse or better than any of our other games this season, really. And on another day, we easily win this game. We just couldn't get that second goal. There was a really good chance for Sigurjonsson towards the end of this game, or right just before that almost, to make it 2-0. And I think the defence was a bit poor on that. Milivojevic and Draman Uriarte came in for this one due to an injury to Rogerinho, and they just didn't quite have the same cohesion, I don't think. And Uriarte, just maybe because of his lack of match fitness, wasn't quite as sharp as I would have liked. I would have liked him to have won that header, basically, but it is what it is. Then, though, we went away to Lazio. We lost here 3-2 last year, and unfortunately, it was one of those ones where, as much as I have a player sat in that position to try and block that thing, sometimes they just don't do it. 1-0 to Lazio, frustrating, but not a lot you can really do about it. But then, on the stroke of half-time, Conceição getting down this left-hand side, and out of nowhere against the run of play, Quarto just dinks it in, and there was Kudus to make it 1-1, and we got ourselves a great equaliser. But we've been here before, and that's kind of the problem. And then on 71 minutes, we got a bit of bad fortune, really. The ball was ricocheting around the box, it breaks to Goossens, and he slots it home for 2-1 Lazio on 71 minutes. However, Messina pits the ball off here and grabs the ball. Paolo gets the ball, essentially drops it across for Sigurjonsson, and a brilliant save from the goalkeeper. Wasn't enough. 2-2. And in the end, I'd say it's a thoroughly deserved 2-2. We had a chance to win it at the end. Lombardo, had a brilliant back post strike that was well saved by Busso, and it could have been 3-2 to Sassuolo. We wouldn't have deserved it, but nevertheless, that was the case. Defence was a bit shaky, but this was a step up over what we played last year against Lazio. We were better defensively, conceded less chances, conceded 1 less goal as well, and looked better going forward than we did last time against them in the exact same fixture. So I definitely can see the progression going forward for us. However, we actually finished the game with 10 men as Milivojevic had to go off with a hamstring strain, which will see him miss 4 weeks of football. After 5 games, we're second in Serie A after 5 games. 11 points on the board, still undefeated. Yes, we've drawn our last 2. Against Samp, we were unlucky to draw. I think we were the better side, and that's fine. That's good signs, good performance. Against Lazio, thoroughly deserved the draw. Really pulled out a good performance there. And again, it's looking at progress of how we've played against teams last season when we played them. I also sold Cabrera to Al Ali. The bid was coming in, and I felt, you know what, just to make sure that the FFP thing is good for us, I'd made the deal. £14.5 million he's gone for, and that should clear up any doubts we had about FFP. We do still have Constantinu, who can play on both sides as a backup if we absolutely need it, but other Cabrera, Benjamin Cabrera, has hit the ground running in this team. I'm very impressed with him. I still feel like second is a bit above our station. I don't think we'll finish there this season. I don't think we will, honestly. When I look at the expected goals and defence so far, we're the 5th best defence and the 6th best attack. So right now, really, we should be sort of here. But that's fine. It'll even itself out. And the fact that we're even up in that kind of conversation is extremely pleasing from where I expected us to be honest. I thought top half was our target and we'd build from there. But I think we've just done so well with the signings and slight tweaks to the tactics and personnel that we're in a great spot to springboard. Now, today against Inter might be a little bit more ridiculous on that one. But remember, we lost 6-2 to Inter last time. Anything better than that, I'm considering it a step in the right direction. They want to make a few changes. We have really got little choice in the matter. So I'm actually just doing a selection advice. Let him switch some stuff around anyway, because Uriarte has to play on the left if he's going to play. They want to keep bringing in Flans instead of Kudus, but the simple fact of the matter is, I think he's a phenomenal player, but he just does not fit the style of football we are currently playing. Pavlich is just a little bit on the knackered side, so we do have to be careful. We've got a nice break after this game, because we had the Lazio game midweek, so that's why some players are a little bit worse for wear on that one. But really, there's nobody else that can play that role as well as Pavlich, so he needs to just get through this game. Everybody else, though, I think that's going to be fine. Emerson's been a bit up and down. He's had some good games, but also some poor ones too. He's very inconsistent. Like, he's either brilliant or really quite poor. Like, when we beat Atalanta 4-0, he got a 6.5. And we kept a clean sheet and he got a 6.5. But I'm going to go with that for now. Make sure the bench is set up how I want it. I want to say Czar on instead of Meret, probably, just to have that option. Hell of a team. We know that. I'm still going to go with our standard approach. I was tempted to try something more conservative, but I just want to see how we fare with this new personnel right now. And if we still get absolutely smashed, then I'll be like, okay, we still need to think about these things rather than having a dogmatic approach. I'm fully expecting this to be our first defeat of the season, and if it is, it is. I'm just interested in the performance increases, and I really have seen it. I mean, you can see it just from watching some of the goals we're scoring, the way we're playing. The defence looks so much more sharp and in control of things. They don't look quite so all over the shop. Goalkeeper's controlled. He's composed. He's safe pair of hands. That's what we didn't have last season. I don't think the attack's got any better or worse, particularly. Maybe a tiny bit better, but it's the defensive side of things that mattered the most to me. Also, Sigurjonsson is massively underscoring his XG at the moment, which statistically last season he was bang on basically. So I feel like he's going to have a nice spell of scoring, hopefully, within the next few games. Ooh, I feel like he's certainly not done by any means, and he's going to get some chances and take them because he has missed a few quite good ones, but hopefully he can continue being excellent the rest of the season. Cabrera out wide now. Pavlich just going to cover the gap, and we've won ourselves an early corner here. They do have some extremely dangerous players, like Vinicius Jr., people like that, who, no matter how good our players are probably going to struggle to handle them when they just run right through you. But it's if we can prevent them doing it as much as possible. Here's the situation. We just don't want to let them cut back inside. Oh dear, I hope we're not getting one of those Emerson games. That's the first penalty we've conceded all season. Emerson, stay on your feet, buddy, please. I know he's going to probably run past you, but just don't give away silly fouls like that. Oh well, hopefully it's not the end of the world for us, but it does seem that, I mean, maybe Moscatelli will save it. After all, he has been an absolute boss, but the last thing we need is to give Vinicius Jr. any confidence coming into this game right now, and it's a great finish. I mean, that could have broken the net. Sassuolo 0 into 1, Vinicius Jr. Yeah, just Emerson doing Emerson things, unfortunately. Maybe I'm going to regret selling Cabrera, but it's fine. If we find that's going to be a problem in our tactic, or the team, then that's one of the areas we can target for next season. It's a slow build, you know? You look very good on paper, and we need you to start playing a bit like that, but I'm just hoping once he gets his match fitness up, which he's going to have to, because he's going to be forced into the team over the next sort of couple of games, hopefully we'll see the best out of him. It's a good ball, actually. Quarto's through! Marco Quarto, and it's a ball round the side there. Uh-oh, right, set piece. This time, see, look, there is a man supposed to be on the guy that stands near the box, but for some reason, on occasional free kicks, you just don't get them. They just don't turn up for whatever reason. At least that time we had a guy there and they were forced to lump it into the box. And it does deflect off the bar, though, so we've got to be... Oh, hello! Oh, I think Sigurjonsson should do better there. Well, half-time, and, I mean, other than the penalty, it's been pretty even, really, this game so far. With the exception of that, they haven't done anything massive, and that's a good sign for me. He's going to cut inside to shoot. Oh, no, he's not. He's found Camoranza. Right, we've got to be careful now. Don't let him get that ball across the box. Or don't foul him either. Oh, that's not the best bit of play, but actually it's not too bad either. Well, it looks like it is going to be 1-0 to Inter with that Vinicius Jr. penalty being the separator between the two sides. I don't think we've played all that badly for the most part. It's just one of those games, really, where we're playing against one of the best teams in the country, and I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, even if it is a defeat as well. For the fact that they've had to score a penalty to get through us. Obviously, penalties count, but if you kind of just exclude that as far as creation-wise goes, I think it was a pretty even game from a creation front. They just got the penalty because we didn't defend very well. The defenders definitely did a better job today. Moscatelli was actually somewhat poor, but what more can he do? He's not supposed to save the penalty, and he saved everything else. So it is what it is. We get our first defeat of the season at home against Inter, but you can see it's very clearly big steps in the right direction as far as this team goes. We're not going to be expecting to go and smash teams like Inter, Juve this season. That's not our prerogative. The draw away at Lazio, only narrowly losing here from a penalty, is a massive step in the right direction for me. Juventus next is going to be tough. Like, we do slip to 6th, which is kind of where we should be anyway, based on the things currently. Cagliari, who we beat, I'm fairly certain, are now above us in the league. So, you know, there's definitely good signs about the teams we're playing, and we're only 4 points off the top as things stand. Looking very, very good indeed. So, very, very pleased with the start to the season. Atalanta have sacked their manager, which is not a huge surprise. So, yes, we haven't won in 3, but better side, equally good, pretty good as well. Like, just, it is what it is. But next up, we go away to Juventus. That is just a complete free hit for us. Pavlich will be suspended. Obviously, we're going to have a few players out as well for that, so it's certainly not going to be easy. But honestly, I'd rather have Pavlich suspended for Juventus in a game which is just so unlikely for us to grab the result than miss out on potentially a home game against Brescia, which is huge. Because you can see that after the Juve game, Brescia, Spal, Empoli, we've got to run a games that hopefully we can pick up some more points to keep ourselves in there. Because at the end of the day, if we're still like 7th or 8th after the Juventus game, we are in a great position, and I'm extremely happy. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, this team is still fire in places. drop a like on the video. That would be gorgeous. If you're new to the channel, subscribe too. That would be sumptuous. And of course, I stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday. Go follow that too. I'll see you guys on Sunday for some more Sassuolo magic. Thank you very much for the watching. What? Ochigun Capybara. Bye bye.